Right, there it is. Welcome, day 6. Happy Saturday. Put into the chat. Let me know. What are y'all up to today after we get off this call? What are you guys up to this beautiful Saturday? Are you going to do a little R&R or are you going to be out and about? What you doing? What you doing today besides this workshop? Let me know. I have my mother and father-in-law here. They are moving a little bit closer to us, so they're looking at houses. And yeah, we'll probably do a little grilling, a little chilling, and all that good stuff. Before we get going here, I'm going to drop into the chat the topic for today. I've been doing that, trying to give you the information in the chat. So I put that into the chat. Workshop day 6, Q&A day. And then the second thing I want to put into the chat are the important links. I know we've been sharing a lot of links with you guys. So there's some important links. One about the Academy, one with the link to book your discovery call. And I know I just started talking about the bonuses recently, so I'm going to put, oh, it's telling me my message is too long. I'm going to have to cut it up. I'll put that into the chat too. Bonuses 1 and 2 and bonuses 3 through 5. All right, so there's all the info that y'all would potentially need at your fingertips. Now let me read the chat and see what y'all are up to. Hey, Gigado, long weekend for us. We're going hiking with the kids. Fun. I love a good hike. Where are you hiking? Where are you going to be hiking at? We lived near Denver, Boulder area for a while. So Ryan, my significant other, bought a Jeep and we were all into the hiking thing. We loved that. Greg, office organization and yard work. Ooh, it's an organization day. All right, good. Well, I hope you can kick back and relax a little bit after all that hard work. Good stuff. Lisa, computer work skipped step class. Oh, you skipped step class to be here. Oh, Lisa, you are just a warrior. You are a coach warrior. Well, thank you for being here with us. And maybe you'll get a little step class action or a little workout later on today to make up for that time. David, house chores and kid activities. Yep, that's what the weekends are for, right? Good stuff. Gigado, we're in a small community in northeastern Ontario. Well, there you go. We're going to stay close by about 5K and the grandkids are 5. How fun. I love it so much. And Sheila, we own a convenience store and I'm the Saturday girl. Oh, that's so fun. I love that you guys own a convenience store and you're the Saturday girl. That's fun. All right, well, let's get into it. Again, welcome back, everyone. It's Saturday. I'm so excited and honored to be a part of your journey as you're getting ready to replace the income that you have coming in now with a coaching business, right? That's the idea here. We're building this amazing dream coaching business. And you know, each of you have your own financial goals. It's different for everybody. But I know a lot of my clients are looking to replace and or exceed the income that they're currently making at their current place of work. I am honored by your time investment and your belief in yourself. That's also a lot of what I've been seeing throughout this week. Just you guys showing up is you believing in yourself. Those of you who show up, those of you who've been booking discovery calls, you're taking these steps forward, and that's a really big deal. Myself and my team were loving watching you guys in this group, feeling your energy. We're so excited for you to soar. So as you're dropping in, like I said, say hello. Let us know what you're up to this weekend besides attending this training. Everyone who booked a discovery call, we've been talking about discovery calls with us. If you booked a discovery call, and again, Tabitha, if you could just drop the link, direct link to book a discovery call. If you booked a discovery call, congrats to all of those of you who did. That means you're in the running for the fast acting 6-figure coaching business bonus bundle. So if you book your discovery call, you're in the running. And if you join the Academy, you get that bonus bundle. And depending on the order in which you join, it's the first 5 people. So this is the quick reminder before we get started here. It is the first 5 people who are going to get the special private session bonuses. So let's make this big. And let's scroll down. Get you a little dizzy for your Saturday. Oh, scroll back up. Bonuses, where you at, bonuses? Here we are. Okay, so this is the reminder. For those of you who booked your discovery calls, you are in the running. You have to book your call, by the way, by Tuesday, May 21st. Got to book your call by Tuesday, May 21st. You are in the running for the fast acting bonus bundle, up to $8,600 worth of bonuses. Bonus number 1, 1,000 off monthly installments or 3,000 off paid in full. Bonus 2, this is the exciting one, first 5 people. You got to be if you're on the fence, at minimum, book your discovery call, because at least then you're giving yourself a chance to be in the running for the first 5 people that get accepted, receiving 2 private hour-long strategy sessions. One will be with me, and I love doing that with new clients, right? That's when I'm going to give you an intake form so I can kind of get a feel for, okay, where you at? What kind of goals do you want to achieve? Where are you feeling challenged? And then I'm going to lay out a comprehensive strategy for you on where I recommend you focus first to hit your first financial milestone. So that is the first bonus you'll get right here. If you're one of the first 5 people to book your discovery call and get accepted, you can't, you got to book and then get accepted. And join the program. The second 60-minute deep dive training session is highly, highly valuable with our social selling expert. I said it once, I'll say it again. If you hear the term social selling and you don't know what it means and you don't know how to implement it, please, I'm asking you to get on top of that. It's very important for the sake of your coaching business to learn how to social sell. And with the trends that we're seeing in the market right now, the trends that we're seeing in the industry, the way people are reacting to online outreach, it is imperative that you learn how to social sell. Social selling is a way of doing outreach in a very authentic, relationship building way that eventually will transition into a sale. But you have to learn what that conversation looks like. And we teach that in the academy. But this bonus, our social selling expert is going to help you customize your outreach to your specific niche. And that is unheard of. Usually, if a program talks about outreach, they hand you a script and they say, good luck with that. We're going to actually help you customize it to your respective niche. So big deal, these first 5 bonuses here. Bonus 3, I'm going to do a social media profile audit. Why? Because unless your profile is optimized, you're going to struggle to attract clients. Okay, social selling, outreach, and all the other things that attract clients goes hand in hand with optimizing your social media profile. So that's going to be bonus 3. Bonus 4 is coach in your pocket. You can imagine a mini version of me right in your pocket for the first month of you being in the program. So anytime you need my help, Betty, I have a question on my niche. Betty, I have a question on Mod 1, Lesson 3. It's like a walkie-talkie app. We can go back and forth. It's a lot of fun, valued at $2,000. And then for those that pay in full, you're also going to get a ticket to a virtual half-a-day live cash injection workshop. And the idea here is I'm going to go over what I call cash injection actions to get you the fastest ROI, right? Because there's a lot of different ways to attract clients, but there are specific ways that are going to get you the fastest ROI. And those are the things that call cash injection actions. So all these bonuses are if you book your discovery call by Tuesday and end up joining the academy. Okay, so just a reminder there on what we got going on. Oh, Sheila, I'm so glad. Sheila says mine with Heather was awesome. That makes me so happy. Yeah, these are like, first dates in a way, right? We're getting to know you. You're getting to know us. It's your opportunity to ask us a ton of questions. And, we'll be asking you questions, vice versa. They're meant to be enjoyable. So hopefully they are. And I'm glad it was for you, Sheila. So again, congrats to all the coaches who booked their discovery calls. You're all in the running for bonuses. Bonus number 2, with the first 5 people getting those private calls, those do go quickly. Like I said, we've had workshops in the past where we've had 13 people join, and then, you know, person number 6 is bummed out that they didn't get that bonus. So if you're on the fence, at minimum, book the discovery call, and then at least you can make an informed decision. So that's my reminder for you. All right, for today's session, I want you to keep focused, keep having fun. Keep having fun. This is where we can kind of loosen it up a little bit, have a little bit of fun. You guys now have the client attraction system in your brains. And now you get to ask away. I'm here at your disposal. I want you guys to keep loving the journey. So did take some notes on page 14 of your workbook. If you need a workbook, put in the chat, workbook, I need a workbook. And Tabitha will put a link to the workbook in the chat. Here we go on page 14. 1, if you have even if you come up with a question right now, you're like, oh, shoot, I didn't ask any questions. Come up with one right now if you want. And feel free to drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat if you have one. So go ahead and do that. And if you don't, take some notes from other coaches. Some of these questions that some of you have been asking are great questions. So you're all going to learn no matter what from these questions that people are asking. Sometimes our best learnings, right, come from other people's questions. So today I'm going to be doing Q&As on anything and everything related to building your coaching business. I'm going to, you know, this is a rapid fire. I'm going to try to answer as many of your questions as I can. I've been receiving DMs, emails, comments in the Facebook group, comments in the Zoom chat. So Tabitha has gathered all those up for me, and I'm going to hit on all those today. Now, if for some reason we missed your question, please give us a tap, and drop your question in the comment now. Like, now would be the time for you to say, hello, I asked this question, you guys didn't include it. Put it in the chat. I also want you to know I will be kind of living in the Facebook group until Tuesday, which is the last day of our workshop. So engage in that Facebook group too. Drop your questions in between sessions in the Facebook group, or DM me or DM your concierge. So the questions don't end today, but today's kind of the opportunity for you to go back and forth with me if you want to. If you want to come off mute, that's up to you. Okay, so let's get going here. I'm going to, I think what I'll do is I'm going to share. I'm laughing because every time I try to do something, my computer says, your window is too small to do XYZ. I'm going to share my screen so you guys, those of you that are visual learners, visual people, can see the questions I'm going through as I'm going through them. And again, if you're here live on the call and I'm answering your question, you know, after I answer it, feel free to either come off mute or just drop in the chat, you know, does that answer your question? Do you have any further questions, etc.? All right. So first I've got a question from Leah. Leah's question is, should we concern ourselves with them? I think by them, she means ideal client avatars that she's running surveys with. And Leah, keep me honest if that's what you mean. Should we concern ourselves with them, the ICAs, seeing the value when doing ICA surveys, i.e., somebody who wants to quit smoking, if that's your niche, but they can't afford to pay for coaching? So good questions. Good question. And here's what I would say to this question. Ideal client avatar surveys, I really want you guys to think of these. I mean, they really should be with ideal client avatars, right? So is an ideal client avatar somebody who is not financially qualified to pay for your program? Well, no, right? Now, financial qualification is not the only way to be qualified. Something I teach in the academy, there are 4 different ways to qualify a person. And that's only one of the buckets, financial qualification. But what I want you guys to think about as you're running ideal client avatar surveys is you really should be surveying human beings who are, one of the things that would make them ideal is that they are willing to pay for coaching, or they can pay for coaching, right? So yeah, that's one of the things. You do want to focus on interviewing people who truly could be potential clients. That's what makes them an ideal client avatar. That's one of many factors. And again, I teach in the academy, I go through all of the different ways that would make somebody qualified. It's not just financial qualification. There are numerous ways to identify, is this human qualified? That's why we call them ideal client avatars. One thing I will say too, Leah, and for everybody listening to this, let's say, for example, and I kind of talked about this earlier, let's say, for example, you're building a high ticket program and you're like, yeah, at a certain point when I put everything together, I plan on selling this at 10K for this 6-month package, right? I'm making this up. But just as a reminder, it's okay if you desire to, if you want to do a founder's rate, right? Something that's maybe half off, etc. You can do that in the beginning, right? You can do a founder's rate so you can kind of just get your feet wet, make some money, get some testimonials, right? Continue coaching. And then I will leave it with this too, the whole, like, somebody who can't afford to pay for coaching. Of course, we can't put ourselves in somebody's wallet. That's not really the way it works, right? But sometimes people can afford it. But they have to prioritize, right? Maybe it's like, no, I'm not going to get a new car this year, or I'm not going to take that big vacation this year, or I'm not going to do that big house renovation this year. It depends on the person. I know I've had various instances. Shoot, I hired one business coach. It was like $20,000 to join her group. I hired another business coach, $30,000 to join her group. Then I hired another business coach, $50,000 to join her group. And kind of as your level goes up, the pricing tends to go up. But my point is, I'll be totally transparent with you guys. For some of those coaches, did I have 50K in my pocket? No, I didn't, right? I opted for the monthly installment. And I just had faith, that if I showed up and did the work, I'd see the ROI. And I did, and I had my first $500,000 year, and then I had consecutive $500,000 years and continued to go up. So anyways, it can't afford it, can't afford it. It just depends, right, on the way people are looking at it. So long answer to a short question. Let's see. I'm looking to see who's here today. Hey, Lisa. Gigato's here. David, Greg, Caroline, Sheila, Linda. So I don't think Lisa's watching the live, or Leah's watching the live, but Leah, if you are watching the replay and you have any additional questions on this, please do let me know. And for those of you who are here live, feel free to drop into the chat if you have any additional questions. Okay, I'm just going kind of back and forth to the chat and then to the questions that people posted. Lisa says, you said a couple of days ago, what is your niche? Maybe we could help. I gave you that long post on Thursday. Yeah, Lisa, we can definitely talk about that. So let's put you on, let's put Lisa on the list here. And so Lisa, we'll talk about your niche after Maureen. So I got you on the list, Lisa. Let's chat about it. Greg says, do you ever allow clients or potential clients to book a single session without committing to a full package, to allow for a paid sample session or a maintenance follow-up session for those who've worked with us before? That's a good question too, Greg. So the answer is yes. And that's part of what I teach. Now that's not something that I am currently doing, But when I first started out coaching, and what I teach my clients is, yes, that's what yesterday, Kristen, when we interviewed my client who was at 17,000 a month, we call it a carrot dangle. It's one session that you give a new client that they pay for one session. Here's the key with the carrot dangle. It's not a generic kind of, oh, we'll just coach you on whatever. You create, and this is something I teach my clients in the academy, you create a specific coaching session that is specifically based on one of the first urgent problems that your niche tends to have. So as we build out your signature methodology for your niche to get them from pain to dream, we look at some of the earlier problems around mod 1, some of the first things that they struggle with, and we pick one of those urgent problems that they tell us, help, 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 I'm going nuts with this. And we make sure that we're branding it and messaging it in their words. We're using their words to brand it and message it. And absolutely, that's what the carrot dangle session is. You can have a pay here button, because when you're selling something that is that low ticket, one single coaching session, and this is part of the website that I built that I give to you guys when you join the academy. There's actually a page for that, Greg, for that carrot dangle, that one paid coaching session. And I give you guys all the copy for that website page. And then there are buttons on the page where people can immediately purchase that one powerful paid session. And then, of course, I give you guys a script that at the end of that paid session, you transition into talking to them about working with you. So the answer to that one is yes, Greg. You said, or a maintenance follow-up session for those who've worked with us before. Yeah, absolutely. So when you finish a coaching package, absolutely, you want to be able to give your clients an option or some options to continue to work with you. So that's something I teach in the academy as well. Once somebody's done with you, and that's, by the way, there are various ways, right, to make money in your business. It's not just new clients, right? It's renewals. It's people who have been working with you and want to continue to work with you. It's reactivations. It's people who have worked with you. Maybe they took some time off working with you, and then you're pulling them back to work with you. So renewals, reactivations, referrals, there are all these different, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket of just new clients. So the answer to your second question, Greg, is yes. And personally, I would do more than just a maintenance follow-up session. I would offer, well, it's a whole rabbit hole, but just as a couple examples, you could say, hey, I have a couple options. The easiest option, it's almost like I call it Netflix coaching, where they can cancel anytime, and maybe it's like 2 sessions a month. I think what's important though, let's say, Greg, somebody does a coaching experience with you. I think what would be important, Greg, is at the end of that coaching package, let's say, Greg, someone works with you for 6 months. At the end of that 6 months, I would recommend doing like a 30, 60, 90 with that person to kind of have them identify what are the next goals they want to achieve. And then that's really a nice transition into saying, hey, I'd love to continue to support you in achieving A, B, and C. And, that's when you could either say, I have a 6-month, follow-up where, we do this advanced coaching, or maybe I have a monthly coaching option and you can, cancel when you're ready. So the answer to that question is yes. Greg, any follow-ups to my answer to your question? Does that resonate? Are you with me? Any follow-up questions? And you can either come off mute or chat. Love it. Thank you. Oh, making it easy on me, Greg. All right, cool. Tabitha, question from Jolie Conley. How do you avoid the bait? Let me just copy and paste this. One moment, please. Copy and paste this. So Jolie, I'll get to your question too after Lisa. Lisa says, so the founder's rate is a discount rate that can go up as my experience goes up. Exactly, Lisa. Yeah, exactly. So if the founders rate is, and again, kind of my example of that is when I joined this boutique gym, it was called Orange Theory, and they were just rolling out the gym. They hadn't, made it this big conglomerate yet. It was like one of the first gyms that they opened. They had a founders rate, which was much cheaper than today. If you tried to join Orange Theory, it'd be much more expensive. So I was one of the first people that joined, and they said, yeah, anybody that joins within this, they had like a couple months, like if you join within these 2 months, you get the founders rate. And so that was just a really cool thing for me to get that rate, and for them because they got some early money coming in. So yeah, the founders rate, the idea is it's the first couple people that are trying out your coaching. And let's say, for example, Lisa, if you've been coaching for a while and you're like, well, I've already been coaching for a while, so how do I do a founders rate? Well, let's say you were working with me in the academy and we created a signature methodology and we created all your deliverables and we created double the value of the package, right? And so it's kind of like a relaunch. We roll that out. You could kick it off with a founders rate. Lisa, does that make sense? And you can drop that in the chat or you can come off mute.
It does make sense. I just wanted to clarify that that's what it meant, and that's what I have, but I'm still trying to find, I got my certification and the people that I coached were all people that I asked, and no one's responding to my posts. I see value in what you can offer, but even paying monthly, and I think it was Heather that gave me a estimate as to what it would be monthly. That's more than my rent, and I'm unemployed.
Yeah. Well, don't be out of rent. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Did you?
But, getting you guys to, I have your ideas. Let's word it this way. Let's do there. Let's do this. You're not optimized on Facebook. Let me click this, that, and whatever. And then maybe I'll get people responding. I totally see it. But, I'm to the point of, if I had money, I'd go to a marketing place and have them market me and find my darn people. Because I don't know where they are.
Let's talk about it today, Lisa. I've got you here, so bear with me here. Let me get through these questions and then let's go through and talk about where to find your
that big
people.
Thing that I wrote, which explains everything, and put it out wherever, and maybe they can, because I figure a conversation, even like we're talking, could maybe lead to I can help you with that. And maybe it's, for free, but it gets them to know me, and then word of mouth, and they can find my people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about it. Don't lose hope. Sometimes, Lisa, it's the smallest tweak. It is the smallest tweak. So it's like sometimes when you feel like, oh, I'm doing the work, I'm reaching out to people, I'm posting on social media, where are my people? Sometimes it's the smallest tweak in your messaging.
Well, I really haven't done anything in about a year because Dad died, and I don't know. I'm the kind of person, like, I'll post, but I don't want anyone around. And I was out at Dad's place where my aunt was, and I don't want people that can overhear me. And I've never gotten back into it, really.
Yeah. Well,
I should. I know that. But
I think you want to start, Lisa, like my biggest thing, if I could sprinkle fairy dust on you after today's session, even, would be to start with your why. And I know you know your why, but to put it to paper, why do I want to coach? Why is this so important to me? Why do I want to? Because that'll really be the fire within you to be like, you know what? It doesn't matter about A, B, C, D, E, F going on around me. This is my calling. This is my why. And even if it's a baby step, I'm going to take these baby steps forward. Right.
Well, that's easy. Like, I got a BA sociology psych because I wanted to help people and maybe make the journey or whatever less, like I struggled through everything, being disabled and all the rejection, and try and be the helping hand through everything.
Yeah.
And, I called it counseling social work. And then when I talked to the institute where I got my training, and they described what they do. And I've been calling it counseling social work, but it's been coaching, but I didn't know that
Mm.
label in 1984.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because yeah, 1984 was a whole new ball game, a whole different ball game. So yeah, hold tight and let's
Yeah,
come back to you and dig in a little bit more and give
I
you
will.
something to
I'll stay
start
till
with.
the end, but you got to go back to that big tirade that I wrote that day because I don't want to take up too much time talking to you and
Well, and
pushing the others out.
also, Lisa, I can send you a little love note on Facebook. We can audio back and forth, you know. That's what even if we can't cover it all in this moment, I'm here for
Okay.
you, you know, this week. So
Okay.
I can DM you. Tabitha, I don't know if you still have the script to yesterday. Lisa had a big kind of post about what she had going on. If you can find that,
It would
Tabitha,
have
and
been Thursday
Thursday. Okay.
before the interview lady that you had
Okay.
on.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Kristen. So that was Friday when I interviewed Kristen. So yeah, Tabitha, if you can find that and put that in the chat, that would be really helpful. So okay, let's keep going here so we can get through everybody that we can get through. Let's go to Michael. Can we try to recruit people for the ICA surveys via email? Can we try to recruit people for the ICA surveys via email? Absolutely. Recruit away via email. Absolutely. My only request is that y'all hold the ICA surveys over phone or Zoom, that it's a conversation versus emailing them a survey. So, but to recruit them via email and say, hey, you know, use one of the scripts. I'd love to, you know, I'm doing this market research. I think you'd be perfect. Do you have 15, 20 minutes? You know, that's fine. But one thing about emailing people, I would also recommend emailing, as tedious as this may be, one person at a time, and also customizing the email to that human. Just like just like the inner circle tracker talks about on day one, that inner circle tracker where we talked a lot about customizing messages to people. Because, you know, if you send a bulk email to like 50 or whatever, however many people, or even if you BCC, right? But it's this generic kind of request. I don't know about you guys, but even for me, I don't tend to take that stuff seriously. I'm like, oh, someone else will do it, right? So, you know, I would just say email it to people one at a time and personalize it. That's all. You'll get a better response rate by doing that. Michael, let's see if he's here live. Michael, did that make sense to you? He might be watching the replay. So if you're watching the replay and I'm answering your question, just, you know, put in the Facebook group if, you know, you have a follow-up question or if that makes sense. So that's for Michael and anybody else that wants to ask. Okay, let's go to Jolie. I don't have a name for my business. My business email is jolie@jolieconley.com. My website is jolieconley.com. Betty's email is similar, correct. And I'm assuming her website is bettykempa.com, correct. It is. Do I need, or is it advisable to have a business name instead of just my name the way it's set up now? Good question. I definitely get that question a lot. Here's what I would say. It is up, you know, it's not the best answer that maybe you want to hear, but it is up to you whether you want to kind of go rogue and choose a business name, right? Like sometimes I see people will be like, you know, whatever, Sunshine Coaching LLC.com, you know, whatever. It's up to you if you want to go rogue and choose a business name other than your name, or whether you want to keep it simple and stick with your name. Everybody, I don't think there's a right or a wrong when it comes to that. However, I will say this, okay, because you know I made the choice to go bettykempa.com. I personally prefer my own name for my business name and for my website because, one, it keeps it simple. I've seen a lot of coaches get into the spin cycle with trying to decide their business name. I mean, I saw one gal, this is when I first started coaching. She was like a pro bono client like 7 years ago. And she got in the spin cycle so bad with trying to choose the name of her business that it almost took her out of the game. So I just don't think, this is not one of those huge ROI things. I personally don't like to waste time on, oh, what's this, unicorn fancy business name. I want to get to the more important stuff with the higher ROI. I want to get to coaching. So I like to keep it simple, which is reason number one why I like to keep my own name as my website and my business name, Betty Kempa Business Coach LLC. I will also say this. So for you guys to learn from something I went through, I had my website, bettykempa.com. I started off as a career coach and I ended up switching my niche. And I'll be totally real with you guys. I would say most coaches at some point in their life, and I tend to say once you choose your niche, like stick with it for a year. Don't switch, or you're going to make it harder on yourself. But just, try it out for a year at least. But it's easier if you decide to change your niche later. So when I was a career coach and I was like, okay, I want to business coach, I'm attracting more clients that want to know how I'm, having these multiple 6-figure years. I'm going to do the business coaching. It makes more sense with my corporate communications background, et cetera. I didn't have to flip over everything that I did, right? I got to keep my website name, bettykempa.com. And all I did was change some of the copy on the website, which was lovely. It made it so much easier on me to switch my niche. So that's the other reason too. I've seen coaches come to me and they have some kind of fancy business name and then they switch their niche and now it's not as relevant. So I like the fact that it made it easier on me. Here's what I will say. What you want to get creative with is going to be the name of your signature methodology or the name of your coaching package. That's the thing you want to get creative with a name, right? The service your client is buying. So for example, you guys know that my service is the Corporate to 6-Figure Coach Academy, right? That's where you want to get creative. When I was a career coach, I think my name of my program was Career Bliss Coaching Program. And in mod 2 of the Corporate to 6-Figure Coach Academy, I have an entire lesson where I teach coaches how to come up with a snappy name for their method or their package. That's where we want to get creative. So Jolie, does that make sense? Any questions, any follow-ups, etc.?
No, that's great. I very much appreciate that.
Okay, great. All right, so you're on the right path here is the good news.
I
Also,
believe
Jolie,
I have a few questions in here.
Good. Yay. I love it. That's what today's for. Here's another one from you, Jolie.
Yes.
How do I know if my niche is too refined? So this is a really good question, that I'm coaching myself out of clients. How much criteria should the ideal niche have? Yeah, it's a good question. So here's what I would say. Here's what I would say. Your niche should be so refined that it actually scares you a little bit. It scares you a little bit. If it scares you a little bit, that's good. So that's what I'm going to kind of encourage you to do. Get it so specific that it does scare you a little bit, that you're like, ooh, am I too specific? If that's how you're feeling, you're probably good. You're probably good. To get more specific, what I usually recommend is, and, I teach this out in the academy. First, I'll have my clients, I walk them through the whole process of the niche, right? It's a whole process of like deciding and, writing out the first draft of the niche statement. So we go through all that and then they draft their first niche statement. I help who with what so that, right? They'll draft out their first draft of their niche statement. I help who with what so that. Then I tell my clients to go back to their who and add 1 to 2 more descriptors, right? So for example, if somebody says, I help corporate professionals. I'm like, yo, if I go to LinkedIn and look for corporate professionals, that's literally everybody on LinkedIn. So I typically will say to every client, go back to your who, your first draft, and add 1 to 2 more descriptors. And then go back to the problem that you help them solve, right? I help them become better leaders. It's like, okay, like in what way? Like what's the outcome they're looking to achieve? What's the specific urgent problem? So I tell them, go back to the problem you helped them solve. And once again, add 1 to 2 more descriptors, right? So maybe instead of I help them become better leaders, it's I help them overcome imposter syndrome so that they can get a seat at the table and land the promotion they deserve, right? I'm making this up, but you see where I'm going here. So
Yes.
I typically say, you know, we do a couple iterations of that, but your niche statement should be so specific that if you hired a virtual assistant, which you will want to at some point, and we teach this in the academy, and you can do it for cheap. If you had a virtual assistant and you said, hey, virtual assistant, I want you to outreach on LinkedIn to this specific target market. I want you to connect me to 20 new people per day, 5 days a week. And you gave them the niche statement that they would be able to go to LinkedIn and say, oh, okay, I know who to go after. They wouldn't be like, wait, what? Who? It's everyone on LinkedIn, right? So you want to be thinking about that outreach factor too. You also want it to be so specific that if your ideal client avatar sees the statement, that it immediately clicks and they're immediately thinking, that's me. That's me. There should be no confusion. If your ICA sees the statement and they're not sure, they're like, oh, I don't know. Is she talking to me? She's talking to me. Then you got to get more specific. But again, I teach all of this in mod 1 of the academy. Any questions so far, Jolie, on my answer here?
No, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. And if you want to at any point, drop either into the Zoom or in the Facebook group. If you have, and you may not, and that's fine, but if you have a draft of your niche, I'm happy to look at it and let you know, like, girl, you're good, or let's get more specific here. I can give you specific feedback if you have an iteration. I'm happy to do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Cicely, let's cross this out. Is there a way to tactfully vet the financial ability in the ICA survey before I request and schedule the complimentary sessions? You guys are all asking really good questions. So here's what I would say. You know, sure, you can create. I would make it short because it's a complimentary coaching call. So I wouldn't make it a big production, but you could create a short intake form to provide people before they take the ideal client avatar survey to identify, are they an ideal client avatar before you give them the survey? So your form could, you know, I'm just giving you an example. Like, you know, it could be like a Google form. You know, Google has forms or surveys. It could be SurveyMonkey. It could be whatever. So you could ask people questions about, you know, what's the urgent problem as it relates to whatever your niche is? What is the outcome you're hoping to achieve as it relates to whatever your niche is? And then you could ask, and I'm just giving you examples, a multiple choice drop down, right? That says something like, you know, what is the, as it relates to financing coaching, what's the position you're currently in? And it's like, you know, option A, I have financial resources to invest in coaching. Option B, I have access to financial resources to invest in coaching. Option C, I have minimal resources to invest in coaching. And option D, I don't have any financial resources to invest in coaching, right? So you could give them a drop down like that if you wanted to. You could also ask for their LinkedIn profile. So you could take a peek on LinkedIn and see what's up there. So those are just some examples. And, you know, I would say, again, I've said this a couple times, it's not just financial that we're qualifying people. There are various things we're qualifying them with, right? Yes, financial is one of them. Obviously, I mean, it's got to fit, but it's also like, is it an urgent problem for them? Is the timing right? right? Is the timing right? You know, is this the type of person that you want to work with? Is what they want help with in the scope of what you coach people to do, right? So there's a couple different things you want to qualify, but yeah, from a financial perspective, I would say you could ask things like that to kind of get an idea of it, because you do want to run ideal client avatar surveys with people who truly are an ideal client avatar. I mean, those are the people that you want to find out, you know, get the information from, because those are the people that you wish you could just copy paste and get 100 more people just like them, right? So yeah, it should be a match, you know, that they can and they're happy to invest in your program. Now, again, you got to think of your why you're doing these ICA surveys. If you're doing some of these ICA surveys / complimentary coaching calls because you just want to practice coaching, you're like, I just want to practice. Or maybe you're like, you know what? I just want to get some testimonials. Let me do some complimentary coaching in exchange for a testimonial. That's different, right? That's different. But if you're looking for clients potentially to come out of an ICA survey, and if you're really looking for accuracy in terms of answers from an ICA, then yeah, you do want to vet them in a way that that identifies this is a person that, all else being equal, they would be qualified to work with me in a plethora of ways. In the academy, I do have a full vetting form that I teach my clients how to use. And more than that, I help my clients customize that form to their niche. Okay, so that's my answer there. Cicely, I believe, is watching the replay. I'm just going through here. Hi, Katie Hoagland. Sending you love. Sending you a big hug. I love seeing names I know. Katie's a woman I love and respect. All right, so there's Cicely. Let's go on to David. Let's go on to David here and answer David's question. All right, so David says, can we have 2 different coaching titles? For example, life and wellness coach and management and leadership coach with different focus areas. I have strengths and gifts in these very different areas, and I'm wondering how I can have a coaching business with 2 different areas if I'm starting my coaching business. So that's a really good question. And you're definitely not alone, David. A lot of people are kind of, you know, oh, I could go this way, or I could go that way. So, you know, I think the first thing I want to say before I even get into it is, you know, this is the time, David, where it's okay to kind of test, you know, both directions. I mean, if I were you, honestly, David, I might take those 2 different groups, like the life and wellness group, what's the urgent problem that they want solved, do some ICA surveys or complimentary coaching sessions with them. And then the management and leadership group, what's their urgent problem, and then do some complimentary coaching sessions, ICA surveys with them. So if you have 2 different directions, I always say test, because usually by the time you're done doing ICA surveys and or complimentary coaching with the 2 different directions, I almost always have my clients coming out of that saying, Betty, I'm so glad I did that, because now I know that's not the direction I want to go. This is the direction, just from having those conversations with people. So that's number 1. From a marketing and messaging point of view, you know, like what we put on your website, what we put on your LinkedIn profile, et cetera, as far as your title. Yeah, you can have 2 different directions, but I want you to remember the phrase, if you confuse them, you lose them. When it comes to your audience, if you confuse them, you lose them. So I do want you to kind of focus on, you know, put the title aside. Just put the title aside, put it aside, and instead focus on, for now, what is the urgent problem that I want to solve for people, that I feel passionate about solving. This is an urgent problem that keeps these people up at night. They'd pay anything to have help solved. What's the one that I am passionate about solving? So I would actually start there. And then based on that, you can come back and choose your coaching title under that umbrella topic. Just in general, I would drop life coach. I'd drop that because we are all life coaches. We are all life coaches, right? So that's from a marketing standpoint, not really going to help. Now, if you help leaders with wellness, right? If I'm like, I am helping leaders with wellness, I'm just giving examples, and then I'm going to throw it to you, David.
Yeah.
But you could say something like, I'm a wellness coach for leaders. I'm a wellness coach for executives, or I'm a wellness coach for executive men. I'm just making this up. But again, what I think you should start with is not the title, but the urgent problem you solve. And then here's the last reminder I want to give you. Depending on the urgent problem you solve, you might incorporate all of these things into your signature methodology. So when you talk about wellness, leadership, etc., those may become pillars in your program, in your signature method. So we don't always have to smush everything in the niche statement and the title. Sometimes you can just rest assured that depending on the urgent problem, these are all things that just are going to flow throughout your signature method. So I'm going to pause there. And David, is this tracking? Do you have additional questions? I'm going to throw it over to you.
Thanks, Betty. Yeah, this is great. I almost pulled back the question, but I'm so glad I kept it here because this was much more, that you're taking time to reflect on it gave me a lot more. So, this week has been really productive and really me thinking about this. And I almost more or less answered the question myself in the last couple of days, just really to focus on a particular area and to know, like, it was actually a conversation I had after I think Wednesday's session where I talked to another coach about us both kind of working on our starting our business. And she asked me a couple of questions. And then after that conversation, it really said, I discovered kind of where my passion is to work really with, line managers who have challenging employees who are working with, major change and shifts in their organization, just because I love that. It's exciting. And I know I can make an impact in that area. So I still have work to do, obviously, in refining my message and my problem statement, but already I'm in a more like targeted and directed kind of mind frame about that.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, so thanks for the work this week, and today's response was really helpful in me thinking like, yep, let's do a little bit more work in this area. Let's do work in this and get a little refinement. So yeah,
good.
Great.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy, David. And to your point too, just for everybody listening live or on the replay, part of this whole process of building a business, it's so important to be surrounded by the right people, working with a mentor, but also just like David said, having conversations. Sometimes just talking it out with people, the answer will just kind of naturally rise to the top. So I love that so much. And thank you for keeping that question, because a lot of people probably have a similar question as well.
Yeah, if I could just add one more thing too.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I think the amazing thing, you mentioned mindset the other day. I think putting this energy out into the world, like you end up connecting with people in this almost magical way. Like I literally reached out to this other coach friend and she said, I was thinking about you too. And the topic we were discussing were just on top of both each other's minds. And it was completely out of the blue. It was just a remarkable synergy. It just, I think it has to do with often mindset and your energy and what you're putting out there. So
I so agree. Yeah. When you start to take those steps, and I'll talk about this more on Tuesday, will be such a good session. I hope you can attend this, the Tuesday session too, David, all about mindset and the mindset to transition into, building your coaching business. We talk a lot about, when you know what your goal and your vision is, every day that you open your eyeballs and you wake up in bed, you have choices to make every day. Right. And it's like, just to tell yourself from now on, I'm only going to make decisions that move me closer to this vision, this dream, this goal that I have, not further away. And when you start to take those actions and those steps and have those conversations, that's sending a message to the universe that, hey, I'm ready. And then that energy gets reciprocated. So yeah, magical, beautiful, wonderful stuff. Love it. Thank you, David. All right, Greg, back to you, Greg. What does a bonus look like? Woo! Well, that's a loaded question. So Greg, what does a bonus look like? It's a good question. You can get as creative as you want with a bonus. You can get as creative as you want with a bonus. But I would say when it comes to the bonus, you do really want to make it valuable. You know, there's certain things that we as coaches are like, oh, this would be cool. This would be great. But it's really got to be what our ICA is feeling. Oh, that would be valuable. So the bonus should really align with things that your ICA finds valuable. But you can get as creative as you want. And the idea here is to make the bonus so valuable that it becomes a no-brainer for the client. Again, you know, from a financial perspective, you know, you could do anything from $500 to $1,000 fast acting bonus if somebody signs up with you within the next 24 hours. So I love a fast acting bonus because I love rewarding action takers, right? The people who hem and haw, and I want to reward the people that raise their hands and say, yes, I'm taking action. So that's an option, right? Rewarding a fast, an action taker, fast acting bonus, and making it juicy, right? $1,000 off, $500 off, whatever. You can also do a bonus for people who pay in full, right? We really up the ante for our pay in full people. We're doing $3,000 off if you pay in full. You've seen my bonuses probably a bazillion times. So you've got this kind of example, you know, of different, I mean, and some of these are kind of generic, right? Like any of you guys could do coach in your pocket, right? The 30-day Voxer, some kind of a workshop, some kind of a special 60-minute private session. So there, you know, there's all kinds of bonuses to do. For me personally, and this is what I teach my clients too, the special kind of bonus bundles. I mean, I don't offer this year round, right? This is pretty special. I would only offer this if I run a workshop. If I'm not running a workshop, I don't offer this bonus bundle. So, you know, that's now in the academy, part of what I'm teaching my students to do is, and this is a more advanced topic, but all of you guys, once you get up and running as coaches, part of what will create predictable revenue for you is having some kind of a, it doesn't have to be like I'm a lunatic, right? With like 9 days I'm doing in a row. You don't have to, and I didn't start with that either. I started with doing a masterclass, a 90-minute masterclass. And that was like in my first maybe my second year in business. I did a 90-minute masterclass. Now, granted, I didn't just do the 90-minute masterclass and then nothing else. I did a lot of work on the front end and then the back end, but I had a 100K quarter, and I owe a lot of that to that masterclass and people who attended it. So my point is, I do teach my clients to have some kind of an event, you know, throughout the year. It's, you know, at least quarterly, but that's more advanced. You guys don't have to sweat about that now, but that's when you give them like something fancy, a bonus bundle. On a typical basis, right? Maybe it's just a fast acting bonus, like if you sign with me within 24 hours, you get, you know, 500 or 1,000 off monthly installments. And then, you know, anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 off paid in full. Right? It could be maybe more simple throughout the year. Any questions, Greg, on what does a bonus look like? Any questions, Greg? Or did we cover it for you, hopefully? I'm just going back and forth to see. And Greg, you can either come off mute. Your examples are awesome. Okay, Greg, you're making this so easy on me. All right, cool. Going to Maureen. Let's go back to Maureen. Maureen says, what is the discount given on a paid in full client? So this kind of goes hand in hand with Greg's question. What is the discount on a paid in full client? Is there a standard percentage off? So I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say there's a standard percentage off. I wouldn't really say that, honestly. Yeah, it does depend on the price of your package, right? So if you gave me the price of your package, I could recommend to you and I don't like to call it a discount either, because that kind of, I don't know. It's just the way that I teach. I want you guys to be, expert authorities. I want you to have an elevated coaching package. So I don't want to make it like the bargain bin discount red line, right? So I would call it something like a bonus or a fast acting bonus. But I would just say, if you gave me the price of your package, I could make a recommendation on a discount for paid in full. Again, like you saw for us, what we used to do was 1,000 off monthly and 2,000 off paid in full. And then we upped the ante for paid in full to 3,000 off. We just upped the ante on that because it's valuable when somebody pays in full. So we reward them with more off. But again, that's if you sign by the fast acting bonus date. I think the bottom line as far as the discount for paid in full or anything, Maureen, is you just have to make it worth somebody's while. Right. And if you feel like that the bonus amount is too much, taking too much off the top of your profit, I would recommend adding more value to your coaching package so that you can increase your coaching package price, right? Like if you were to say, well, Betty, you want me to give 2,000 off to my paid in full? Shoot, I'm not going to make enough profit. If you were my client, I'd help you add more value to your package so we could raise the price, right? So that $2,000 wouldn't hit you so hard. Let's see here. If Maureen is with us or watching the replay. I think she's a replay watcher. She's a replay watcher. So Maureen, when you see this replay, if you want to share your price with me, I'm happy to make a specific recommendation on a paid in full discount. I'm happy to do that. Okay. Lisa. Is this here? Maybe. So Lisa, I love you too, Katie. Lisa, this that you just cut and paste copy that you talked about the last 20 minutes of the call, etc. Let's go there, Lisa. Because Lisa, I don't think I have with me I don't know if this was the long question that you had asked or if it was something
No, it
else.
wasn't, and I had to do it in two things in the message
Okay.
because it was too long. So
what
Yeah.
I'll do, Lisa, because I want all your questions answered by the end of the workshop, because I
Okay.
don't have it on me. I only have, what's in my little spreadsheet here.
okay,
I'm gonna
I'll redo it.
No, you don't have to. I will just pull after this call the Zoom script, and I'll just pull what you wrote, and then I will send you a Facebook DM
Okay.
and answer
Sounds
it.
good.
So don't have to worry about redoing anything. Just let me we can have a little back and forth in the Facebook
Okay.
DMs.
We can do that.
Okay, so let's start with this here, Lisa. You said you talked about the last 20 minutes of the call. So Lisa's talking about the complimentary call, which we talked about earlier this week, 40 minutes of complimentary coaching and then 20 minutes getting into the pitch. And you said, which lays the groundwork for potential clients. I was taught if you are using social media to make a post, respond to the comments. Yep, correct. And direct to direct messaging and direct to direct messaging. And then that can go to an OTR, open the relationship, where I ask, what is it you want help with? And the journey to the other side of the river. And then finish up with, I have a 12-step program for X amount and payment options. Just a quick and dirty overview. What is the difference between your 20 minutes and an OTR? Good question. You are well informed and educated on all this, Lisa. So you do have a heads up on, I mean, you're very informed, with a lot of
I've
this
got
stuff,
a
which is
program.
cool.
I've got all the scripts.
Yeah.
Got the OTR where I can
Yeah.
lay that journey, and I assume you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. So here's what I would say. I'm a visual person too. I type while I think. I type faster than I think. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but a couple things that I want to say to this. So first, I want to get out of this highlight because the copywriter in me is like, get out of that. So first, I want to say this. When it comes to sales funnels, because all of these things are sales funnels, a complimentary coaching call, and then at the end of it, doing a pitch to the program, and before the complimentary coaching call was, for example, the ICA survey, and then we say, hey, as a thank you for the survey, let's schedule a complimentary coaching call, and then you pitch pro. That's a sales funnel, organic, by the way. We're not paying for these. These are organic sales funnels. And then you're talking about a separate type of sales funnel, which is you make a social media post, which you should be doing, right? This is part of what we teach in the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy. We have a social media calendar we recommend. So you make a social media post, right? We're hoping people engage or make comments.
Which they're not.
Well, and so that sounds like to me, right, where I would want to lean in is your social media post. Like that, when I hear you say that, the first two things I think is, what does Lisa's profile look like? And this is where you and I can go back and forth in the comments a little bit. But I'm thinking to myself, well, three things. One, what does Lisa's profile look like when they're clicking on it? Do they understand her niche? Two, does her messaging for her niche resonate with them? And three, what is she posting on social media? Because any of those little levers could be the lever we need to pull or pivot to get traction. So
Definitely.
don't feel like, I'm doing the things, it's not working. It's probably just a tweak. We got to just tweak some things off. And that's that's where I kind of, it's like being a doctor, right? You go to the doctor and it's like, I don't feel good. My leg hurts. And then they got to do all these tests and hit the knee with a little hammer and diagnose, like, what's the problem? That's what kind of, a business coach is like, oh, you're not getting traction on your social media post. So we inspect it's kind of like an audit, right? We inspect all these things.
I need that.
So yeah, the social media posts, comments, you reply to the comments. The only thing here, so I'm just reading this here. So you reply to the comments, you go to, and then you move to direct messaging. So
Well, you try
agreed.
and get them there type thing. So we're
Agreed.
not having this kind of conversation in the
Agreed.
replying to the comments type
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely. Like, let's take it to the DMs. Absolutely agree. And then, for us, now this is where, every program's different, right? What you learned is obviously going to be a little different than our program. We talk about building the relationship
Yeah.
in a way that is social selling. And there's a whole path and script for that. So we talk about that. And then the idea that we talk about is giving someone enough value until you've earned the right to ask for, hey, it would make sense for us to hop on a discovery call. We being like what I teach, I'm not saying this is wrong, this program, it's just different. It's everybody has a different way of teaching. The way that I teach, because most of my clients are selling a higher ticket, we don't usually say in the DMs, hey, I have this thing, for this amount, We always bring people into a call to have the conversation. Are we a fit? And from there, if we feel like that person's a fit, we're like, okay, we ask you on the call about your problems, your challenges. Now let's go through the program options and the pricing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like,
cetera.
it's a whole, how can I help you? Well, I'm having trouble with self-worth or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the script that they have is all revealing. And then I don't know how it's worded. It's been over a year since I've looked at it, but I can help you. And on the first step, this, and then you're crossing the river and, you've got a handle on your problem. Does that sound okay? And then you go farther and reveal the price.
Yeah. I mean, my only thing is I personally wouldn't recommend getting into talking about like selling over the DMs. I would pull that person into a call.
That's on the call.
Okay, good. I'm with you.
When I get into the OTR call,
I'm with you.
Gave you a quick and dirty.
Yeah. So I'm with you.
Call.
So your question was, what is the difference? The only difference is these are just two different types of organic sales funnels. And what I teach in my program and what all of you guys should be doing, I call it a client attraction system. So we're not going to put all our eggs into one basket and hope that that one way of getting clients will work. We want to create a system. And so both of these could be parts of your system. The cool thing about creating a client attraction system, parts of it will be automated, which is so nice. Parts of it can be delegated or outsourced, even to an intern. And that's a whole different thing that I talk about in the academy. And then parts of it you're going to do as the CEO and head coach. So the key is, yeah, there's a lot of different organic sales funnels. We need to set up the right ones with the biggest ROI and figure out which are automated, which are delegated, which are which are a combination. It's a machine. We want to build it so that you can wake up and you have calls booked. And all of these different things are working in conjunction. So the answer to your question of what's the difference, these are just two different types of sales funnels, but they're doing the same thing, which is building a relationship with somebody, learning their problem, and then moving to saying, hey, this is what I do. I help people with this, and, you know, getting their buy-in and then showing them pricing and packaging. So you're on the right track. Just need to build the system.
I just need to fail at the next level after I find people, but I can't find people to start failing in those conversations.
So Lisa, what's your niche? What's your niche?
Well, primarily I was thinking helping people with self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem, women, and I figure age 30 and up type thing. You said it needed to be refined. Well, other parts of my background are, my mom was an alcoholic, so I came through Alateen. So, you know, people who've been affected by alcoholism type thing, like the family side, not the helping you with your drinking.
Yeah.
I am, because that was the start of my journey, and then later went to Centers for Spiritual Living. What separates me from you in the same field is the spirituality component. I'm almost a licensed minister. I am a licensed practitioner where I can help you with prayer work. But you know, like things, your action step for this week might be meditation or something like that. And even one of the life coaching packages they gave was helping with their connection to higher power or whatever. But you know, and also I'm disabled with cerebral palsy, and one of my ministers said, you help people with disabilities find purpose and belonging. Well, before you can do that, you got to deal with the feelings that all the rejection and teasing and all that left you with. So I want to help with those feelings, which could happen because they're disabled, which could happen because they came from alcoholism, which could come from a variety of different areas.
Yeah. So I think you're on the right track here. We just need to dive in and get some research. So let's talk about it. And I want you to kind of just, my recommendation, Lisa, would be to just kind of open your mind to the possibilities. And anytime you see a potential challenge, like, ooh, that might not work, I want you to open your mind to, okay, if I don't think that would work, what could work? What could work? So kind of just putting on that perception of like,
let go this year and let spirit direct me rather than posting on how great this workshop was, or you know, whatever comes to mind. I've got these cards from the Institute, and I usually just on TikTok, I have picked one of them.
Beautiful.
You know, spread them out kind of like this and picked one and then talked on it.
Yeah. Beautiful. So what's cool is you do have a lot of directions to go in. You know, I would explore those directions. So you could become this confidence coach. And then the question becomes, now, Could you help these guys, the families of alcoholics? Yes. Could you help these guys, disabled or cerebral palsy, and then work on their confidence so they can find purpose and belonging? Yes. You could do all those things, but it'll make it easier for you to attract clients if, from a messaging standpoint, just to start with, you pick one to say, I'm really going to go all in on this direction, and I'm going to go wild in this direction, and I'm going to be known as the confidence coach for either option A or B. Now, does that mean you can't help both? No. You'll probably still have these people come to you if you focus on this. You'll still have these people come to you if you focus on this. But from a marketing standpoint, it's just, who do I want to become a confidence coach to? And the second question is, why do they want that confidence? And that's the so that ... What's the ultimate outcome that they want to achieve? Or what is the urgent problem that not having confidence is creating for them? And they're like, because I'm not confident, I'm not able to achieve this thing, and it's keeping me up at night, and I'd pay anything to have help with this. So, I know.
From my journey, like I did work with one of our coaches, like from a graduate of my institute, shall we say, which I'll just say, because I assume the coaching community knows, is Health Coach Institute with Carrie Peters and Stacy. I love that community. I love you too. Don't get me wrong.
I've had clients from Health Coach Institute. Yeah, they're great.
So it's their scripts and everything. If you so you know what I was trying to describe then.
Yeah, absolutely.
She forced me, because it didn't naturally come to me. She forced me to name my program, and I called it Claim Your Power Within. So I'm not the can I say something? So I'm not the person that just sits here and listens to you, but so I'm claiming my power within and participating like I'm participating now.
Yeah.
That I'm standing up rather than being put down by my bosses, if I had to, because I'm not working. But saying that's your way, but I'll either adapt to it because I see where you're coming from, but this is where I am, rather than staying totally quiet when you're called into your supervisor's office. Claim your power within, which works with the self-worth, confidence, self-esteem, and standing up for yourself.
So I think the good news, Lisa, is you've got the umbrella topic for your niche, which is confidence. You're a confidence coach. I would say, if I could sprinkle fairy dust on you, Lisa, from a marketing and messaging perspective to attract clients to you, so that your social media posts all had to do with this one group that needs confidence because, and we need that because, either attending some of these Al-Anon.
Yeah, and I can't advertise there because they don't bring in outside stuff.
I know.
So my hands are tied.
But do they? I mean, question, and I don't remember if you and I talked about this. I'm 13 years sober, and so I'm into the whole Al-Anon, and I'm familiar with this side too. I wonder if you could even reach out to some of the Al-Anon outside, and not to sell, but just for the market research, just to find out if they're struggling with confidence, how is that affecting them? Like, that's what I'm curious. Not that you'd stand up in the middle of an Al-Anon meeting and say, hey, come one, come all, but that you'd reach out to someone and say, hey, or just take them to, people go out to coffee or whatever and just say, hey, I'm doing some market research. My business coach, blame me. My business coach, mentioned I need to do some interviews. I'm trying to work with people in Al-Anon. It's nothing to do with sales, nothing like that. I just need to run a couple surveys. Could we do like a 15-minute coffee chat where I ask you a couple questions? Like, these are your people. So whether you find like a Facebook group for this, or I would just, reach out to the people in the group that you attend privately and just make it clear, not selling. Yeah. I'm here to do market research, because we got to figure out will these people pay a coach to help them with confidence? And if so, to achieve what? They got to tell us. We can't just
Exactly.
come up with
I
that.
have my ideas. Like, I think you know me well enough to, oh, I know where Lisa would want to go with this type thing. And, you know, like,
Yeah.
and counseling, social work to get people through all this.
Yes.
So they didn't have the, I'm all alone, no one's here, I can't,
Yeah.
no one at welfare's talking to me, you know, like I need a hand
And
holder.
coaching could go hand in hand with this. It's not like you're saying, you know, it could go hand in hand with this. You know, I've had clients that were coaches for, you know, sober coaches, and they're not taking the place of AA. It's going hand in hand. Or you go this route and, you know, interview some people in this field about, okay, you know, what is the urgent problem you're dealing with? We got to figure out, you know, if it's purpose and belonging, you know, is it the confidence that's holding you back? And if so, you've got a niche. I help, you know, people that are with disabilities like XYZ, find purpose and belonging through, you know, improving their self-confidence and self-worth or whatever that is. So, and so Lisa, my homework for you would be, you know where these people are. Go interview some of these guys and figure out which direction you want to focus on. And then I want to see your social media, Lisa, to be so specific to those people, to these guys. Like, I want to see you write a blurb about these guys going through something, or maybe something you went through, or these guys going through something, or maybe something you went through, so that somebody like that sees that social media post and is like, oh my gosh, she's in my head, she's talking to me, versus like a kind of generic coachy post, which I haven't seen any of your posts. I'm just making an example. Does that make sense?
It does. And can you scroll that down or something so I can copy all your notes that you put on mine so I can put it on a
here,
document?
When I'm done, let me copy and paste. Let me copy and paste this. Woo! Let me copy and paste this to the chat. Let's do this.
From Lisa Niche down all through my,
okay. Here we go. Come on. It wants to copy everything.
That's okay. Take everything, or
I got sticky fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just copy this, and then I'll copy the second part.
Okay.
And it tells me I have too much anyways. So here, I'm going to put that in there.
Yeah.
And then after the value bit, I'm going to put in this separately. And then we've got that. So Lisa, again, I will check out your other blurb, and let's continue the conversation.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll shut up, and you know,
you don't have to shut up, but let's continue. I want everybody here to not, this is not the end all be all. We still have 3 more days of the workshop, and the Facebook group is for you guys to keep it coming with the questions. Keep it coming. All right. So great. Jolie had another question here. Jolie, how do you avoid the bait and switch syndrome of making a light conversation and then in the next contact going into our business and asking for a referral? In essence, that's what "do you know anyone like this?" is saying. I have this sort of contact initiated by others on LinkedIn all the time, and I smell the business talk before they ever get there. I don't want to launch into contact when it's not part of our normal relationship, and then move into talking about my business and make them feel like my interest in them isn't genuine. Does that make sense? It does make sense. It does make sense, Jolie, for sure. So here's what I would say, and this is why I kind of try to preface for you guys with all the scripts and the spreadsheets. It's those are for the people that kind of lock up without having something to say in front of them. I think the most important thing, 2 things. One is you should be you. You should be genuine. You should be authentically you. Have authentic conversations the way you would authentically have them. That's 1. I think 2 is just kind of be careful how the stories you tell yourself about when you talk about your coaching business. the narrative you might be, and I don't know, because we're not coaching right now, I'm not in a coaching relationship with you, but the narratives you might be telling yourself about, oh, when I share about my business, I'm slimy, I'm salesy, I'm like, careful with that narrative, right? Because a lot of times when other people tell us things like, oh, I got a promotion, or I'm in this job, or hey, I opened a dentistry. If you know anyone with a cavity, send them over my way. Like you would chuckle and be like, okay, I will. Shoot, I have a cavity. I might come here, right? But for some reason, as coaches, we're always like, I think it's just our servant heart that we always kind of shrink back, like, I don't want to come across as, just a reminder to yourself each day that you are here to serve, and you can't serve unless you get out there and start telling the world what it is you do. So if the "do you know anyone like this" feels ick, don't say that. If that feels ick, don't say that, then just strike up the conversation with, hey, what's new and exciting in your world? They're going to tell you what's new and exciting. Then they're going to ask you, you tell them what's new and exciting. And you could just end that naturally with, now my next step is I'm trying to build my network with people like this. You could end it right there, and if they feel like they know somebody, they're not going to just keep it zipped up. They're going to say, oh, I know somebody I could introduce you to. So by no means, don't do anything that doesn't feel genuine. Don't do anything that doesn't feel authentic, but balance that with being okay with sharing your story to the world, with what you're here to help people do, your calling. Because we got to get that out there, because there's people out there in pain. There's people out there that if you don't share that, they're never going to get the help that they need. So if the "do you know anyone like this" feels ick, don't say it, throw it away. What are your thoughts, Jolie?
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's definitely, like you said, it's that balance between what do you say,
Yeah.
and what are you saying in your own head?
Yes.
What do you say to them, and what are you saying in your own head? So
Yeah.
it makes total sense that I need to kind of check that and kind of put it through the right lens, so that it's not my own internal fear stopping
Yeah.
me, that
Yes.
I'm really analyzing it. Am I phrasing this the right way that it's going to read properly to the person, versus that gremlin inside of us that goes, they're not going to want to hear what you have to say.
You nailed it. It's like the assumptions, right? Where
Yeah.
we get into someone else's head, or it's like the 4 Agreements by Miguel Luis or something like that. And he talks about what other people think is none of our business. Don Miguel Ruiz. Thanks, Katie. Don Miguel. Yeah. One of the agreements, what other people think is none of our business. So yeah, if we spend all our time being so precious with what we say, because we're getting into your head and making assumptions, it's not going to serve us. But in the same sense, I'm not going to tell you like, be a robot and use a script and say something that doesn't feel natural. But just what's really important is Shanna, one of my clients who was the coach for student athletes and landed a $55,000 contract. That was through one of the exercises I had her do, talking to her inner circle. She was talking to her neighbor, and she wasn't like, oh, salesy, I'm going to get you. She was just genuinely sharing her passion and excitement for what she was doing. Oh yeah, I'm working on this and this, and oh my gosh. And it was just through that. People want to get behind others who are passionate. People want to get behind others who are passionate about what they're doing. So, but I'll leave you with this, Jolie. The more conversations you have, the easier and more natural it's going to start feeling. The more that you have, you're going to start to get into the groove, right? Because we're not pitching. The inner circle exercise, there's no pitch. There isn't. We're just trying to get the word out. This is what I do. And if it's the person I'm talking to, they're probably going to raise their hand. And if it's someone they know, they're probably going to say, oh, you got to talk to so-and-so. But be you, and then test different approaches, see what feels the best, and see what gets you the best results. And it's just what you said, find the sweet spot, because sometimes we got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah, I
you
actually
got
have
this.
that. I have that note on my computer.
Perfect. Perfect.
And I
Yeah.
have one, when I open my laptop, it says fear does not mean stop.
Yes. Yes, Jolie. Yes, yes, yes. You got this. All right. So good stuff.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jolie, for that question. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more and then we're going to call it a day. And then I'm going to go back to the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything in chat. Okay, so these are some of the questions we've had coming up via DMs, email, etc. What does the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy cost? So there are multiple pricing options. There are multiple pricing options depending on the program you sign up for. Okay, we have different programs. We have one-on-one, we have group, we have pay in full, we have monthly installments. There's a lot of different options. So that is the point, you guys, of the discovery call. We on purpose, we don't give people a button and say, buy here, because we actually need to vet the same way you need to vet us. We need to vet as well to make sure we are a match. We feel it would be unethical to do so. So we don't just give a button and say purchase. It's important to have that conversation. So book the discovery call. Again, Tabitha, if you could throw in there the link for the discovery call. Book the discovery call to go through the packages and to go through the pricing options and to make sure that it makes sense for us to potentially work together, right? It's an informational consult. So make sure you book the discovery call. What else? How long is the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy? It's a 1-year-long mastermind. The duration has been created very intentionally to allow us to truly hold your hand in getting to the finish line of standing up a six-figure coaching business. This is not a one and done quickie coaching session. And I will be totally frank with you guys. When it comes to building a coaching business, 10 sessions is not going to get you to a sustainable coaching business that replaces your corporate income. It's not enough. And once again, we wouldn't feel ethical saying, 3 months we'll get you to the finish line. It's, we in the academy do long-term sustainable results only. What's included in the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy? I'm not going to do the whole long blurb here, but I know not everybody's been on every call. So just as a reminder, there are 2 main things included. There's the people component, the success squad, and then there's the six-figure coaching business in a box, the digital component. So there's the people component, the digital component. It's not the same thing as saying, I hired a business coach today. You are hiring a success squad. This is like your business board of directors. Yes, I will be coaching with you, right? What did Kristen say the other night? I don't get off a group call until everybody gets coached. We keep our group intimate on purpose because I want to be able to coach everybody. So you will be coaching with me. You will be assigned a success coach. They're graduates of the academy, IPEC certified. They will work with you on 30-day milestones to make sure you are tracking to your goals. One of the mistakes I've seen made in other business programs is they'll have this massive program and you get lost in the sauce because you're not tracking to quarterly goals, 30-day goals, etc. So that's what your success coach is there for. We have an incredible copy coach. She's also from IPEC. Many of you who are from IPEC will know her. 15 plus years of copywriting experience. She is just a pleasure, a joy, and a superstar. So she will be editing all your copy. And that includes, which Lisa and I were just talking about, social media posts. Like that would be a great example for you to come to a copy call and say, look, I'm not getting traction with my social media post. And she would look at it, she'd look at your niche and she'd give you some edits, right? So we have a copy coach. We have a money mindset coach, right? A lot of people are in their heads about this, right? I'm never going to make enough money as a coach. I will never be able to replace my corporate income. I'm too scared to do this. So our money mindset coach is going to dig deep with you into the mindset piece of it. We have a peer accountability pod. Kristen mentioned the other day, my coach who is at $17,000 months, that this was actually one of her favorite parts. She's still friends with these people. We partner you with a handful of Academy members who are where you are in the program. You'll meet with them to deepen your mastery of business concepts and to hold each other accountable to implementation. So you'll get pretty close to this group, and then we're all going to meet each other, and I'll be able to actually give you a big hug if you're a hug person. If you're not, we'll just wave from a distance. But I love seeing people in person. We're doing it in Tampa, Florida. You'll be able to network with fellow Academy members, learn, receive hot seat coaching. So that's what's included. And then the digital component, you get immediate access to the on-demand online learning center. Every single module has a plethora of training videos, worksheets, and more. I told you guys, this is something that I'm very proud of. If you opt in, you get your own website build. So I've partnered with a web designer to create a website with templates, a kickoff call with the designer, tech support while you're standing up the website, and more. So we've actually created the ultimate template and then giving you copy scripts on how to customize it to your niche. And then the copy coach is going to edit. We've got the whole process for you. So you don't have to go out into La La Land, pay, $7,000, $8,000 to a web designer to create a website. And, then you got to figure out the copy and the design. We've got that covered for you. And any other tool that you could possibly think of, anytime, and to be honest, this is a dynamic program. So if a client is like, oh, I wish I had this, you can count. I can't guarantee, oh yeah, I'm going to go out and grab it. But I do my best that if I see, oh, these guys are building something by hand, I'm like, no. I go out, I either build it myself or I get it built, and then I include it in the on-demand learning center. So that's what's included. To answer that question, let's go back here. That's what's included. Is it group or one-on-one? It's both. Both options are available. I'm transparent with you guys that the one-on-one is limited. I've only got a couple more spots available for one-on-one. I keep it limited on purpose because I want to have enough time and energy for all of my clients, right? I don't want to go into burnout, so I can show up for you. So maybe a couple slots left for one-on-one until we have some more people graduate. Who's the program for? So these are the type of people that are joining the Academy. We get a lot of successful corporate professionals, right? Successful on paper, or executives who are ready to ditch their 9-to-5 and replace their corporate income. They've got a 6-figure corporate income. They want to replace it with a coaching business, right? That's why it's the corporate to 6-figure coach academy. We also do get many coaches in the program who either have coaching certificates or maybe they're still in their corporate job, but they're already coaching. They've started coaching. We tend to attract a lot of human resources, training and development, learning and development, people ops, recruiters. I don't know. I think those are just all natural coaches. So we tend to attract a lot of those people into the program. We've got, our fair share of IPECians, although that is not a prerequisite. That just is where I was certified. So we have a fair share of people from IPAC. And then we also have, just to be clear, we do have people that aren't in corporate. There's definitely a chunk of people in the program that are not in corporate, but they've been successful in their 9-to-5 world, but that's just not their calling. They're not fulfilled with that anymore, and they're looking to become coaches. Okay. So again, kind of the same question. I'm not a corporate professional. Is this for me? If you're motivated to become a coach, right? If you're ready to make an investment in yourself and your business, then yes, right? It's more important you, the person, than the job you're in. Okay. So if you're motivated to become a coach and you're ready to make an investment in your business and yourself, yes, but book the discovery call to see if it's a fit. How often are new trainings and updates added to the program? It is our job to stay in the know with new marketing, messaging, and sales techniques. So this academy is constantly being updated. There are new trainings added to the On-Demand Learning Center, and that's included in your membership. That's my job. My job is to stay in the know of the trends going on out there. What if I need Betty support in between calls? So I think it's very important that clients get my support in between calls. You have unlimited access to me in between calls. That doesn't mean you can call me at 3 a.m., but you are encouraged to reach out with questions for feedback in between sessions. I like that. I want you to be working on the business in between sessions. Will I get help with copywriting during the program? Yes. So this is not a done for you writing service. We're not going to do it for you, but you will receive website copy templates, lead magnet templates, any kind of writing template. I've created it. And then you'll get in-depth training on how to customize each template to your respective niche. And then you will put it through the copy coach who's going to give you edits and feedback. So there's a whole system for you to get your copy out, no matter if it's for the website, social media, any kind of copy. Yes, you will get help with your copy. Do I have to post on social media 24/7 in order for the program to be successful? No. Is social media an integral part of building a virtual coaching business? Yes. But we will provide you a social media calendar template. I hired a social media graphic designer and I had her create a library of graphic designs for coaches. And then we will give you social media training. Okay. I'm the cuckoo that loves social media. So that's where you know, if you're not into it, I'm probably a good partner because that's where I'll lean in and help you. We'll also teach you how to automate or delegate or repurpose your social media so you can focus more on coaching and less on posting. And I'll tell you for myself, I think of social media once a week. Once a week, I batch my content and I don't think about it for the rest of the week. So that's what I teach. How much time do I need to commit to doing the work in this program? It depends on how fast you want to stand up your coaching business. The beauty of the On-Demand Learning Center is you can move as fast or slowly as you want to. We do spread out the program for over a year so that you can balance working in your full-time job for a period of time while standing up your coaching business. We have built the program accounting for how busy you are. All of my clients are super busy, okay? Most of my clients are working a full-time job. They're parents, right? They're all these things. So some of them are caring for their parents as well. But on average, our clients usually spend 4 to 6 hours per week working on their business. It depends how fast you want to move. You get to decide. How do I know if the timing is right for me to get started in the program? What if I'm still in my corporate job? What if I'm still getting certified? It is recommended that you start this program while you're still in your full-time job. That actually is going to take the stress out of feeling like you have to rush in standing up your business, right? Ideally, we want you to get your business fully up and functioning before you leave your full-time gig so that it's a smooth transition for you. It's up to you whether or not you have the bandwidth to take this program while still getting certified as a coach. But I will say we have a healthy mixture. Some of our clients are certified. Some are still getting certified. So we have not everybody that joins is completed their certification. Okay. So that's up to you and what kind of bandwidth you have. What kind of niches does your program work for? It works for all kinds of niches. I showed you guys this page already on what kind of niches I've worked with before. I got to change this. Lori's at 45K in 4 months now. So she's an imposter coach for leaders. Here's Shanna, who sold a $55 coaching contract. She's a performance mindset coach for athletes. We have coaches for startups. We have burnout coaches, work-life balance coaches, leadership coaches, career coaches, business coaches, relationship coaches, spiritual coaches. Who else have I worked with? I've worked with divorce coaches, mindset coaches. The list goes on and on. The list goes on and on. So you don't need to worry about the burden being on you to see how your niche will fit into this program. That's my job, to use my brain on your business. I listen, I review your ideal client avatar surveys with you. I help you market, validate. You don't need answers coming to this program. What you need is willingness to do the work. The clients that come in and that I interview and they're having all this success, they have a willingness to do the work. You implement, and then I help with strategy and consulting. Do I have to make building or running my coaching business my whole life? No, right? No, I'm going to teach you how to automate. Some things eliminate, delegate, streamline, depending on what your goals are. For some of you, you're going to add some members to your team, whether that's a virtual assistant, an intern, or more. It depends what your goals are. This program is meant to give you more freedom. That's the idea. And that includes time freedom. Vicky is one of my clients who pulled in $23K in 2 weeks. She's a mom. She built her business while she was still at her corporate job. She's now left her 9-to-5. She's achieving amazing results. I want you guys all to have a starting point that is with the life you want to create. That's the starting point, actually. What's the life I want to create? And then we work backwards with you so that your coaching business is actually a bridge to get you closer to that life you want to create. I will say to you guys, I love my life. I'm so grateful to be a coach. When I'm not doing a workshop like this, typically I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. Right? If I'm not doing a workshop, those are my off days. Monday, I don't do client calls. Monday is my office day, my admin day. I prep for the week, or I can use it as a PTO day if I want. I work with my clients Tuesday through Thursday. But each day I'm able to, make time for myself to meditate or get some physical activity. Weekends, Ryan and I love to pretend we're tourists. We go explore St. Pete. But I'm telling you this just to say I visualized what is the life I want to create. And then I built a schedule and a business around the life I wanted to create. Now, is it hard work at first to get your business up and running? Sure. Right? I mean, it's not like it magically happens, but once the systems and support is in place, you can breathe. And that's what we're here to help you do. I want to emphasize for those of you that are here live or watching the replay and you have a dream or a hope in your heart of coaching, I'm going to help you take your niche idea and turn it into a viable business. If you would join the Academy, we're literally going to have a kickoff call next week. Right? We're going to hit the ground running. And I will tell you exactly what to do to bring your goals to fruition. I think I have one more question. And then I'm going to go to chat and then we're going to call it a day. Do I need to purchase other marketing, sales, business programs? Did I share my screen? I don't think I did. I think I just pulled it up. Share my screen. You ever do that? You pull something up and you're reading it and you think everyone can see it? Do I need to purchase other marketing, sales, business programs in addition to this one? No. This is it. This is a comprehensive business education. It's a one-stop shop. You have everything you need in this one program. No more digital courses, no more one-off business coaches. We have it all for you here. Okay. Everything that you need is here. All right. So let me do one more check on the comments. Scrolling up. Just want to make sure I got any comments here that you guys asked. Scrolling. I answered Greg's question. I answered the founders rate question. Sheila, with coaching businesses, do you recommend doing LLC? We have this for our store, but I'm not sure I see the purpose with coaching. Thoughts. So, I have to say out loud, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not legal. That's a lawyer question. I have to say that. But do I see value in an LLC for coaching? I do. And I have an LLC for coaching because it protects us, right? It protects the business and it separates your personal assets from your business assets. So, yeah, I do see the value in an LLC for your coaching business. Now, I talk about that more in the Academy. I talk about that more. The options, sole proprietorship, LLC, S Corp. We are now an S Corp. You know, we went from LLC to S Corp because we have a team. But that is definitely a lawyer question, but I do talk about that in the academy. But with everything I know and I've done, and if I could sprinkle fairy dust on everybody, yeah, I would say yes to the LLC. Just because, just like anything, it protects your assets. But Sheila, I will drop an article or two about the LLC in the Facebook group and tag you. But that's my thought. Any follow-up questions on that, Sheila?
No, I just, you know, I guess because we have the, you know, the brick and mortar building here, and that's one of the main reasons why we were told to get the LLC. And of course, you know, the investment in was such a mortgage that we have on it. And people, you know, coming in and out, the trafficking of getting hurt, doing this happening or doing that, or, you know, we sell food, you know, people saying, oh, well, they got, you know, I guess that's where my mind was going versus, you know, you know, more online. You know, I guess my mind hadn't crossed over yet.
Yeah, and that makes sense too, because you're in that world, right? So, but yeah, I mean, I think that it's just more protection for you, your business, and your assets and your personal assets. Having an LLC is just more protection. So it's a conversation to have with a lawyer, but I'll drop a couple good links, a couple good articles in the Facebook group and tag you, just so you can take a peek and have a little bit more insight. But it's definitely something that I do and that my clients do as well.
Okay. Thank you.
It's a good question. Gina, are you able to respond to this statement about what I do and who I serve? I'm a life design coach. I coach busy women professionals to get clear on goals that are aligned with their values so they create a life they love. Let's see if Gina's still here. Gina. I think she hopped off. I'm going to answer this in case she's watching the recording, and then whoever's Gina's concierge, if you could just reach out to her and let her know that I answer her question. So here's what I would say. I mean, it sounds like your life coach, right? That to me sounds like a life coach, right? A life design coach. It's a life coach. You're helping busy women professionals get clear on goals, aligned with their values, create a life they love. That's a life coach. So nothing wrong with that. But what I would say I would say, you know, that's what we all do. No matter our niche. Business coach, I still work with my clients on life related things, right? Relationship coach, health coach. You'll still coach on life. Like, we can't compartmentalize things, right? The life is going to come in to every niche we have. So I would say from a marketing standpoint and a messaging standpoint, I'd want to see you get more specific. I like that you have busy woman professionals. I'd want to know what kind of professionals. I want you to think about it. If you hired a virtual assistant and said, go onto LinkedIn, virtual assistant, connect me to 20 new ideal client avatars per day, they would be like, okay, every woman on LinkedIn, they're all busy professionals. So I'd want to see you get more clear on the who. And I think this, Gina, is really it too. The good news is you're going to do that. You're going to do what you just said, no matter your niche. You're going to do that. I do that. Every niche will do that. But I want you to think about, Gina, what is the urgent problem you want to solve? Because people pay to have problems solved. People pay to have problems solved. People buy based on emotion, then they justify that with logic. So I would just think to yourself, what urgent problem are you passionate about helping people solve? So when it comes to their life, which bucket is the bucket that fills you up? Do you want to help people with their relationships? Do you want to help people with their health? If they're professionals, is there something about their job not going into burnout? I know work-life balance isn't a thing anymore, but work-life integration. So from a marketing standpoint, to make it easier on you to attract clients, I would get more specific. And that's something we cover in module 1 of the Academy. I think I got everybody. Sheila, do you have coaches from here and join the fast track that go in together and build a program? Do you have coaches from here and join the fast track that go in together and build a program? I'm a nurse with looking at working with family members of addiction. I love that. I'm 3 years clean. Congratulations, Sheila. And I have a daughter in addiction. Yeah, I feel you there. And I come at it from all sides. So let me just read your question again so I understand it. Do you have coaches from here and join the fast track that go in together and build a program?
When Lisa was talking
Tell me,
earlier,
Sheila. Yeah.
when Lisa was talking earlier, it kind of got me in my mindset, you know, of, would it be like, because I was looking up, because one thing Heather told me was, she said, look up to find in online, maybe people like you're looking for yourself, a coach, for a family member. So I was kind of looking up, and I found, one or two here or there that had like websites that you could go to and all. But I was just wondering when I was hearing Lisa talk, do you ever have like maybe two people, like, I don't know where she's from, but say where I'm from and where she's from, and we went in together and we built a business, does that make sense?
Cool. Yeah. I mean, well, first off, cool thing is you guys are both here, so you can connect, outside of this, even you guys can connect because you're both kind of, just even having dialogue together, by all means. But yeah, I mean, when people join the academy specifically outside of this workshop all the time, I mean, that's kind of part of getting into a group that's a mastermind, that's a bunch of powerful coaches going after these different niches. We have coaches all the time that'll either partner together on things, collaborate together on things, refer each other on things. That's kind of the beauty of having that close-knit network. And let's say I'm making this up. If you joined and Lisa joined, right, you guys would probably go into the same pod and have even more close discussion. So the answer is yes. I mean, that's kind of the point of allowing even my one-on-one clients kind of get a 2 for the price of 1. Our one-on-one clients are allowed to also join the group because everybody wants to get that opportunity to network and partner and collaborate with other coaches. So the answer is yes, but again, good news, Lisa's right here. So you guys can, if you both want to connect offline, but yeah, that's the point of the academy is not just for people to say, oh, hey, other coach, but to do things together, to support each other. Yeah. Does that answer your question,
Yeah,
Sheila?
I just put my info in there.
Cool. Does that help, Sheila?
Yes, ma'am. It was great. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
good. Love it. Okay, I'm just scrolling down. Okay. All right. I think I got it all. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up now. I think I got it all. I hope this was helpful, but this is not the last chance you guys have to ask questions. So please continue to ask questions in the Facebook group. That's what it's there for. Tabitha, if you could just put the link in one more time for people to either book a call or to check out the program. If you could just put the link in there one more time. As a reminder to you guys, we only have 3 days left. 3 days left. It's wild. So if you haven't booked your discovery call yet, do book it. Tabitha is going to put the link in the comments. You only have until Tuesday to book your call and join the academy to get all of these bonuses. 1,000 to 3,000 off. First 5 people get 2 strategy calls. You get a profile audit, a 30-day Voxer access to me. So it's like having a coach in your pocket, and you get a ticket if you pay in full to a half-a-day cash injection workshop with me for a fast ROI. So this is only good until Tuesday. So make sure you get that booked now so that before the calendar fills up, you have those done. And as a reminder, the program prices will go up in price after this Tuesday, and the bonuses go away, right? So now's the time to book the call. If I missed your question, like I said, post it in the group or DM me. Tomorrow, join us, same time, same place, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 mistakes coaches make that prevent them from replacing their corporate income. It's going to be based on mistakes I've made and I've learned from. It's going to be based on mistakes I've seen other coaches make. And I'm going to be sharing with you all ahead of time to ensure that you don't make those same mistakes. So that's meant to save you some time and money. Not only will we share those mistakes, but we're going to talk about how you can avoid each mistake. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Don't forget your discovery calls before the calendars fill up, and I will see you all same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, y'all.